So Trump will be using his World Liberty crypto company to extort the European Union and the Asian allies, using Fox News to launder his crypto and pump his stocks through Fox Business News, while the anchor pumps Trump's stocks. Murdoch and Trump will use this laundered money and launder it into the Wall Street Stock Exchange, for they can launder it into corporations. So when Trump steps down, he has laundered his crypto into Wall Street companies and becoming shareholders with Fox News, Murdoch, Trump, and Murdoch. So I've been warning the European ally leaders, like Germany is in economical ruins because of Trump. Macron, he's going to try to tariff Macron because Macron stands in his way of gasoline, enslaving the world and keeping the world stuck on gasoline with the petrodollar, because Trump is in the pockets of the fossil fuel interests. So Trump is going to extort Germany's auto industries, Macron, French president, to get him out the way of gasoline. He's going to try to extort Canada, Mexico, Japan's car industries, Japan's tech companies, South Korea. He's going to try to extort you with tariffs, China, Saudi Arabia. Trump is going to extort you all with tariffs in the hopes that he can incentivize corruptions through y'all central banks of the dark webs, through the dark shadow banking into the dark web, laundering crypto kickbacks for Trump. And so he's being investigated by the FBI's, but I'm warning y'all leaders ahead of time that Trump is going to try to extort y'all in the love for money to be laundered through his cryptos into legit corporations through the stock exchange of New York. And Murdoch, Fox News, the owner of Fox News, and Trump has been planning this for a while, since his first term in office, since Trump's first term in office. So I'm already in contact through the shadows with Germany, France, Britain, China. I got to reach out to the president of Canada, Mexico, but I'm warning y'all leaders ahead of time through the shadows. This is how Trump plans to be a robber baron in America. And that's why he's in bed with Fox News. He's always been in bed with Fox News because they've been plotting this for a long time. And I've been collecting the evidence enough to warn y'all leaders ahead of time. Trump is going to try to use his Attorney General, Matt Gaetz, to obstruct the investigations, but that doesn't mean that y'all leaders can follow up abroad and bring the law down on Trump and force the Supreme Court to arrest him. Because Trump is not above the laws, not in this country and not abroad. So he should be held to account and sentenced to prison. He's going to try to use the Trump in the second term. He's going to try to use Matt Gaetz to close down any investigations on his crypto company, World Liberty. And he's going to try to use the CIA to hide evidence. You know, Trump took boxes and boxes of intel when he lost the election. He was scared of being sent to prison. So he took boxes and boxes of a lot of his corruption to Mar-a-Lago in the hopes that he can skate prison. And so he's going to try to repeat the same thing with Matt Gaetz and his CIA director. And so for that reason, in the shadows, I am warning y'all allies, when Trump begins to extort y'all best to beware that this guy is a corrupt grift. And he's directly sodomizing y'all for the love of money. To enrich himself, he's trolling y'all sovereign coffers for tribute. For he can become a robber baron on the grandstand of America. You know how he always said to his supporters, they're not coming after me, they're coming after y'all. And I just happen to be standing in the way. But the truth is that he uses his supporters to shield himself from investigations, to shield himself from prosecutions. And then he deflects everything by calling it fake news. And so it's about time that through the shadows, these sovereign leader allies realize how crony this leader is, how a grift he is. He's a peddler. Y'all can tell that by his mugshots on a coffee mug or on a t-shirt or a slice of it. He cuts his suits up when he got sent to prison or to jail. He didn't even he just got booked, but then he got released the same day. But he cut suits up, pieces of his blue suit, and glued them to NFT cards, try to sell them for a premium. Trump rotten steaks. Trump University, which was McDonald's, people that worked at McDonald's that were pretending to be real estate professors, but Trump hired them for McDonald's. It was a fraud company, and he had to pay the people that he scammed at Trump University. So Trump is a grift. He always been a grift. He's been a con artist. That's why he got charged in New York for bank fraud, tax evasion, insurance fraud, and business racketeering. And then he went to Mar-a-Lago to beg the oil oligarchs to come to Mar-a-Lago and give him $1 billion so he can pay for that fine in New York. That was $500 million. Trump wanted them to bail him out of that pinch because he couldn't come up with the money himself. So they corrupted a Republican judge, and a Republican judge in New York dropped it from $500 million to $1 million and some odd dollars. Worse than Timothy Square with corrupt politicians and judges. So Trump, he wants to extort that crown prince to keep them enslaved to the petrodollar. He wants to extort the crown prince in order to force him to sell gasoline to the world in American currency. So Trump is going to try to put pressure on the crown prince. He's going to try to extort Germany, France, Brexit with Farage, Canada, Mexico, Japan, China, and South Korea. He's going to extort y'all. So if America's Supreme Court doesn't hold him accountable, if America's Supreme Court thinks that he's above the law to abuse the ethic laws in politics that govern politics, if they believe that he has total immunity to corrupt government and direct violations of the emoluments clause and the ethics that hold politicians accountable, then the foreign leaders have it in their ability to dry up the stock exchange of New York, and to Trump is forced out of office. The European leaders and our allies abroad, pull your stocks from Wall Street and let Trump fall. Dry up all the stocks to that stock exchange. And then, since Matt Gaetz, his attorney general, would try to hide Trump's corruption, European leaders hold Trump accountable when it comes to y'all news and y'all outlets. Put political pressure globally against his administration. Force this government to overthrow him. Force this government to get him, this charlatan grift, out of his robber baron position when he tries to extort y'all for the love of greed. See, Supreme Court Chief Justice Roberts said that unlimited campaigns can be donated to politicians. And this is what happens when you let capitalism run amok, that robber barons abuse the Oval Office as a Ponzi scheme. Turn that dollar around. Look at that pyramid. That's what Trump is, a Ponzi scheme. So Supreme Court Justice Roberts, no, we shouldn't let unlimited campaign contributions run amok in the Oval Office. That is not an executive immunity argument. That is not official duties to embezzle public office for self-grandizement of enrichment of business corruption and racketeering. Trump does not have immunity. And if for some reason y'all think he have immunity, then the sovereign leaders of foreign nations abroad will hold Trump accountable and stop the flow of stocks through the stock exchange of New York, and to this government relinquishes this Trump to face crimes and charges and be held accountable and sentenced to prison. And since Trump abused the chief and commanding Oval Office of the White House, one branch of government, if Trump cannot pardon himself federally, because this is a direct violation of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, so government states throughout our union can charge Trump with indictments in regards to this matter. If the Supreme Court pardons Trump or Trump tries to pardon himself, then the individual states of the union can bring indictments and charges on Trump, and Trump cannot pardon himself. And if for whatever reason the Supreme Court tries to override it, then the international allies of our nation will put pressure on this government beyond that Supreme Court for justice to be served.